Hello students, I am Sudhir. I am here to give you my thoughts on the economy component of GS3 mains. My first take on the paper. So, as we regularly discuss in classes, that there are 7 important themes as far as mains is concerned. One is economic growth and development, 2, inclusive growth, 3, agriculture and related areas. That's another important area. 4, poverty, unemployment. 5, fiscal policy, monetary policies and policies of government. 6, sectors of economy. These are the areas generally we try focusing for main syllabus, and they're very important. This time also, the questions are from these themes. For example, when we look at agriculture as a theme, this year there were 3 questions from agriculture. And one important observation is there was a repetition question for the second time again with respect to food processing. Of course, there was a question previously, scope and significance of food processing industry. And in one year there was a question on what measures have been taken by the government, provisions of the government to improvise the food processing sector. So both these two were combined, and we have got a question this time with respect to food processing. That is the scope and the policies of government to increase the employment opportunities, etc. Now, second important observation is we have to make notes from the syllabus. For example, scope and significance of food processing, that is part of the syllabus, the line in the main syllabus. Similarly, supply chain management related to agriculture. This is again a line in the syllabus. So when we look at another question about the supply chain related to the agriculture commodities, okay, the scope and importance, the importance of supply chain related to the agriculture commodities. So from inputs to the last mile delivery, all those processes involved for production, post-harvest, okay, then marketing and distribution. So this is a very important supply chain which we keep regularly discussing, and even in the schemes class also. And that's an important area. And what we observe is whether it is this food processing question, which was a 15 marker this time, okay, and this agriculture commodities question is another one. And how will farmer think, or what will the farmer choices be in terms of selecting the high yield variety crops, etc. So this was another question in agriculture. So 3 questions are straight from agriculture. This shows the importance of agriculture in mains as well as prelims. There was one question which was very obvious question, that is from current affairs, because of Trump. What are the challenges faced by India? Because there is a shift from multilateralism to protectionism that is happening right away, and there is a tariff war that is going on. So this is a very obvious question, and what should India do exactly? That's a fantastic question. That's the most expected question from the newspapers. So many problems actually. Export competitiveness is an issue, or our current account balances can become a problem. What is the impact on India's economic growth? Supply chain disruptions can be a problem. Okay, and what should India do? Should we focus on agreements like as we do it with UK, with bilateral agreements or regional cooperations, or Atmanirbharata, focus on Atmanirbharata? How do we strengthen MSMEs so that our dependence on supply chains is going to come down? So it's a very comprehensive question, a 10 marker that was asked. From the inclusive growth, every year there is a question, but this year there was a more specific question. That is about HDI and inequality adjusted human development index. It's a 10 marker that was asked. So this is again from the component of inclusive growth. Now from the sectors of economy, earlier there were questions on the role of manufacturing sector to enhance the growth, role of manufacturing in enhancing the growth of India, or the role of MSMEs in terms of enhancing the economic growth, etc. But this year there is again a specific question from current affairs, that is about PLI scheme. So what are the achievements of PLI scheme, and what else has to be done with respect to the production linked incentive scheme? So this is again a specific question which is little different from the earlier papers. So overall, though the questions have come from the common themes, we also have to understand that we have to read current affairs regularly. We have to read newspapers or some magazine regularly. Why? Because these specific questions, if I have to do justice to such specific questions like the financial health index or even the PLI scheme. Of course, PLI scheme, if I have to write 250 words on a PLI scheme and achievements, and so I have to put some data. For that, some amount of reading is required. So that means some current affairs focus on important schemes has become crucial as far as the question paper is concerned. Okay, so the approach remains the same. A thematic approach is the best approach for preparation, where we identify the top running themes like agriculture, economic growth, inclusive growth, and fiscal policy, monetary policy, poverty, unemployment, that's another important theme, extensions of agriculture like land reforms, food processing, etc., and supply chain management, etc. So the themes remain same, but the questioning pattern has changed a little, where there were two questions where they were more specific. So along with our regular preparation, what else has to be done is keeping in line with the current affairs that are going on, especially reading one magazine or newspaper is compulsory. And I hope everybody would have written well. And there are two things here: one who have already taken the exam, and others who have seen the question paper. How do I start my preparation, or how do I change my preparation or the direction so that I'll be able to perform better next year? So this should be our approach based on the previous questions. That's all. Thank you.